margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs. Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with Taco Night on Mondays or Whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
At Farm Bureau Financial Services, we strive to provide you with the right coverages for all your insurance needs by taking the time to meet with you and review what coverages best fit your needs. So whether you're in the market for home, auto, farm, business, life, or a combination of any of these coverages, we can help with making sure you, your family, or your business have the right coverage based on your individual needs. If you would like to review your insurance needs, please contact Ben Spurt with Farm Bureau Financial Services at 402-217-9945 or through email at ben.spurt@fbfs.com.
I used to smoke. I thought of cigarettes as my best friend.
They were always there for me when I needed a break.
I also thought cigarettes were my best friend, and then they gave me peripheral artery disease.
I smoked and had a stroke. Actually, multiple strokes.
I smoked and have heart disease.
Here's my tip. If cigarettes are your friend, you need a better friend.
Call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Welcome into the LIBA Business Hour, sponsored by Nats to Tasseling, highlighting local independent businesses in and around Lincoln on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here's your host, LIBA's Lincoln Sear.
Good morning, everyone. Pleasure to have you with us with the Lincoln Business Hour. With me in studio today is Don Buell. Don is the founder of Nats Detasseling. That is N-A-T-S. It is not possessive, and there is not a comma or a apostrophe in there. But we'll get to that. That's a little bit of an interesting story. You never told me how you got to what that stood for, but we'll get there. Anyway, Dawn graduated from UNL with a teacher's college. She has been an entrepreneur for a very long time. Won the Better Business Bureau Integrity Award for the state of Nebraska, which is impressive. That is difficult to do, and was a finalist for the women in business. But Dawn, your mom's from Germany.
Yep.
Your dad's from Jersey.
Yes.
They moved you to Lincoln, Nebraska. So you're a city girl. And you started a detasseling business.
Right.
How did you decide on detasseling? You jokingly said earlier, a lot of people looking for a side gig do Mary Kay Cosmetics, or they do, what was the Tupperware, or whatever. Detasseling isn't exactly what I would have thought.
Yeah.
How did you decide on detasseling?
That is a great question. I think I am a city girl with a country heart. And I started entrepreneuring things in 2nd grade when they were building Kehoe School. My brother and I would bike to the Phillips 66 gas station on Adams and 70th.
Mark Whitehead would be very pleased if you mentioned that's a Whitehead station.
We would buy pop, pour it into little cups, and sell it to the construction workers at Kehoe School. And so I started doing entrepreneurship things from a very young age, and then through papers for the Journal Star. And when I was 12, I bought a horse. And every dime I made went to that horse. And I boarded him at now a strip mall at 84th and Adams. It used to be owned by the city mission. They had some land there. There's a big red barn. It became a golf course.
Yes. It became North 40.
Yeah. but I would bike over after school to 84th and Adams and ride my horse. I actually got in trouble for I loved going over to the cemetery, and I took my horse over to the cemetery.
Into the cemetery?
Was wandering around, and a very kind police officer said, I don't think you should have the horse in here. So so I started just doing kind of country things from grade school on. And
But did you detassel?
Okay, I hate to answer that question with a crew of several hundred, but I never detasseled as a kid. I didn't know about it. With my dad from New Jersey and my mom from Germany, we just didn't connect that.
When you think about starting a business, a business model, you think about, okay, well, I need to do so many fields or acres, and it's this much an hour, and if I pay this, I can make this. You've never detasseled, and you started a detasseling business.
Right. I had so fast forward, graduated from college, had my teaching degree, and by that time, I had several young children, and so I just needed a side gig to bring in some income. And I worked for another company, and it was a bit of a train wreck.
But you worked for a detasseling company, but you didn't detassel.
I did. Well, my rule, Lincoln, is that for leadership and my leadership is, if we're going to be leaders, we're going to walk shoulder to shoulder with them.
You have to be able to do exactly what they do.
I love detasseling. I love walking rows with the teens. So anyway, I managed a crew, walked the rows with the teens, and realized, hey, my entrepreneurial self kicked in. And I realized that, this isn't exactly what I would want for my own kids. So I started NATS, which stands for Not Afraid to Sweat. And
okay, but don't just roll right by that. Not afraid to sweat. How did that come about? What's the genesis? I mean, obviously, for folks out there that are city folks, if this happens, primarily in July? Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So 100 degrees.
Yep.
You're in the middle of an irrigated field. The humidity is off the charts.
Yep.
You're dying. But
hopefully not.
Well, not literally. Figuratively.
Yeah.
But still, the creativity. So your website is notafraidtosweat.com.
Yes.
How did you? Who did you have a contest with your 8 children to come up with the naming?
We just started brainstorming and coming up with ideas, and that one just kind of stuck. And it just seemed kind of fun.
That's incredible. Actually, that is funny. Mm-hmm. So it's not natsdetasseling.com. It's Not Afraid to Sweat.
Because I'm in this male-dominated industry, a lot of people think it's Nate's. So.
Well, honestly, I asked you that question, and when we talked, because I'm thinking, okay, was this named after somebody named Nat?
Right.
And then there's there's apostrophe in there. No. But yes, I'm sure it is a very male-dominated industry.
Yeah.
Are there others out there that do this?
Yes, Nebraska has some really awesome local crews. Your detasseling areas are pretty much west of Lincoln, in between Milford and Kearney, both north and south of the interstate. There's also acres around in Saunders County, Waterloo. That's your main detasseling areas. So
it's a very narrow slice of the state.
Right. Once you hit about Kearney, it's going to fade out, into your ranch land and stuff. So
my grandfather was a dryland wheat farmer in Chapel, Nebraska. So that's way out there.
So we're all on center pivot irrigated fields. It's a very, very valuable crop, and what we're doing is helping to create seed corn that really gets sent and sold around the world to feed the world. It's amazing.
So talk about that for a minute, because as a kid, that my experience was far more hay hooks and baling hay than it was detasseling. I never detasseled. Why is it necessary? And first of all, what is it? We say this detasseling thing. What is detasseling, and why is it necessary?
Right. So if you think of the corn plant, which I'm sure is a good corn husker, you kind of know what that looks like. All right.
I will claim to yes. I think I got that one.
GBR. So the top of the plant is where the tassel is, right? And it almost looks like wheat a little bit. And sorry for all the farmers out here that, I'm the city girl from Lincoln, but at the top is the tassel. In the tassel is the pollen.
Okay.
So corn is asexual. It pollinates itself. So if you've ever shucked corn, the pesky silk that's really hard
I
to get
have done
off.
too, right?
Okay.
My
You've shucked corn.
mother-in-law cans corn or whatever, freezes it. We have a day to farm.
Each strand of silk is a teeny tiny tube, and 1 grain of pollen has to go down 1 strand of silk, and it germinates and creates 1 kernel on the cob. So that is how it pollinates itself. So when you're detasseling corn, okay, you're basically castrating the corn. You're removing the tassel at the top.
Speaking of male-dominated industry, you're castrating
right,
the corn.
Right.
Okay.
So you can always tell a detasseling field. The best way I have to describe it is like dog breeds. So the grower is going to plant a row. We're going to call it the male row of golden retrievers. Male row, golden retrievers. Then you got 4 female rows of poodles. We're going to make golden doodles. So the 4 female rows are the rows we go down and detassel, so that now those 4 poodle rows, the female rows, are dependent upon the male golden retriever row to pollinate it. And the resulting ear is going to have the strength of both breeds.
And you're a teacher.
Yes.
And you figured this all out, learned all this. How? Because this is, honestly, I've been in Nebraska. I was born in Nebraska, lived in Nebraska. I've known what my kids have some, a lot of friends. My kids are city kids too. They have a lot of friends that have detasseled. So I know, okay, tasseling, it's a thing. You go out in the field and you do something and it's hot. I've never heard that. Never understood that.
It's crazy, but I will get kids who will come to me from other companies, and we always try to teach them. I'm a teacher, so I think it's so important to know why you're doing what you're doing,
Yeah.
and why we're looking for that purity to pass a field. It's got to be a lot of times 99.7% clean. Like
when you say 99.7% clean,
so we can only miss 1 tassel in about every 400 plants. Yeah.
Okay. Do you have a QA process?
So the seed corn companies will inspect it after we're through. So usually industry wide, it's going to take like 3 times through the same field. So we'll hit it a day, rest a day, hit it again, rest it, hit it again, because the stuff will grow up and then you see the tassels more clearly. But so the cool thing about managing such a company is that I've orchestrated in that and focusing on quality rather than quantity. So I pay a select group of experienced detasselers. Hey guys, if you can nail this on the second pull, we call it, then you get a bonus. So I am trying to train for quality, for accuracy. And so it's really fun because like 80-90+% of our fields will knock them out on 2, which is great.
So, I mean, the work ethic that comes from that. I mean, I think we talked a lot about, workforce development, right?
Absolutely.
And LIBA as, starting out the first word at Lincoln Independent Business Association, but Lincoln businesses struggle to find people that are willing to work hard.
Right.
They just do.
Mm-hmm.
And the interesting thing, so you're taking, for lack of a maybe more elegant description, you're taking high school kids from Lancaster County and taking them and teaching them to work.
Let's go.
Right?
Let's go. I'm so passionate about this.
Right. So I think there's a reputation, Nebraska in general, the Midwest in general, has a reputation for creating a workforce that is willing to work hard, because
100%.
it doesn't always apply. How many of these kids come back? Like are they one and done, or?
Yeah. Oh, that's a great question. So, oh my goodness, I literally have goosebumps thinking. I know the snow is falling out here, but I'm like, let's get into the fields like now. I've taken almost 10,000 young people into fields, and
Do you actually count? Do you know how many?
Well, I'm just taking an average of 300 times. This is going to be my 29th year, but I
29
hire
years.
I know. So, and I walk, I love to walk these fields with these kids, but here's what I want parents to know. Colleges want to see three things. So I think you don't think of manual labor like detasseling as college prep. It's massively college prep because colleges want three things. They want a good GPA. So start watching your grades in ninth grade, kiddos. You can mess around till then. Ninth grade, let's go. They want a good GPA. They want a good ACT score. Anything over about a 27 is when the money will start flowing. So take that ACT. It's the best paying job you'll ever have if you study for that hard. Take it way more than once. And so NATS has partnered with On to College. So anybody that
John Baylor.
John Baylor.
Yeah.
Anybody who detassels for me gets his best test discount for his test prep stuff. And then the third thing is colleges want to see a solid extracurricular that you're well balanced. So here's the thing that, my goal is to walk alongside parents as they're bringing these kids into adulthood. Because if you're going to parent well and the kids are doing a solid extracurriculum, it can be debate, show choir, sports, whatever. But once they do that, really hard to hold down a job and keep up a
absolutely.
GPA.
And
it ain't happening.
During school jobs are few and far between.
And so parents feel so much pressure to make sure that their kids are well-rounded, to provide all of the experiences for these kids. And the missing link is the work ethic and knowing the amazingness of being able to have your own check, like financial savvy, if you will. Yeah. And so detasseling is the perfect fit for parents who want to raise a well-rounded kid, right? I just talked to a single mom last week. She literally saves year long for the summer camps to get her 13-year-old into, because it's that age where they're too old to be babysat, but you don't want them sitting on screens all day, right?
Right.
So detasseling is this boon for parents if you can handle getting them up and getting them to the bus site and all. I know that's a big pain, but it gives them their very first check that they can handle their money. And it's something where you're not spending out money for these camps. You're getting them off screens. And Lincoln, I'm hearing more and more, I'm more passionate about it than ever before, because what we are facing with teenagers and the social media and the screens, there's nothing more mentally healthy than to be off those screens, walk in cornfields. And guess what? It's so boring. The only thing you have to do is talk in person with the person beside you.
Which is not what they want to do. Normally they want to have their
Exactly.
thumbs. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like a win-win-win all the way around.
Yes. So how do they, you mentioned the bus site. How do they go to a bus site? They have to be to a pickup place or?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. No, sadly, we don't drive the buses around and pick them up. So yeah, like every local company is going to have bus sites. You can go on their website and see where they're picking up at, things like that. I've got about four in Lincoln and I pull out of Omaha. But what's really cool about pulling out of Lincoln and Omaha is we're taking thousands of young people into what I call the sane part of Nebraska, which is District 3, baby. And they get 1 in 3 jobs. This is Nebraska. This is what Nebraska is made of. But Lincoln and Omaha are very detached from it. And this is sincerely the biggest bridge we have to connect 1st and 2nd district to 3rd district.
Yeah.
Is bringing these kids
is
into
this,
the fields.
Do you think this is the first time that some of these kids have been in a cornfield?
Oh, 100%. 100%. Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
Do they have any idea what they're getting into? Or do they just because they know a friend or
yeah, I operate
word of mouth?
Word of mouth. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's really fascinating. Like we have orientation meetings every year that parents and teens come to, that we prepare them, because a lot of it is like how you dress and your mindset and how you're going to approach this. And it will be summer after summer, parents will come up to me and say, "Oh, I don't think she can do it." I'm like, just wait, you'll see. We have very few drop out. I think you originally asked me, do they come back?
Yeah, I did.
When
I was going to come back to it. I hadn't forgotten that.
Well, when I got into it, a seed corn guy told me, a field guy told me, if you get 30% back, you're going to be doing good. We get usually over 60% back. So we create, I call it demented summer camp.
Well, and you're never going to get 100% because some of those kids, they might have done it between their junior and senior year and they've graduated. They're not going to come back. So you have somewhat of a natural attrition. So, we used to talk in commercial real estate that, if you've got an occupancy percentage that is 90 to 92%, that's essentially, that is 100%. Because you're always going to have some churning, you're always going to have some turnover. So you're never truly going to be able to average 100%. But if you're getting 70% back, that almost is 100% of the kids that didn't graduate.
It is a joy. I have had little girls cry at the end of the season because, I guess
they're probably
misery
probably,
loves company.
They're probably not little at this point.
No,
but
well, you know what?
You have to be certain. I mean, one of the kids, two of the kids I know that did detasseling, they're over 6 foot, 6'3".
Right.
Does a 5'6" girl have a chance?
Oh my word. I could tell you so many stories. I will take a 5'2" kid with heart.
Okay.
And I have seen them walk circles around 6 foot guys.
How tall are these plants though? Well, guys whine anyway. This is, we get that. How tall are these plants?
So it, just like the dog breeds I was talking about, so many breeds, so many fields. You can go in, it can be like this, chest high, or it can be way over my head and everything in between, because they're doing, this is more than I know, but they're just breeding stuff. They've got to stay ahead of the pests and the diseases. So they're constantly breeding new strains.
Okay.
For
so if it's over your head, you have to bend it down.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
see, again, I told you I've never done this.
Right.
So
this
visual of
and not to scare everybody, but back in the day when you would have done it, or I would have done it, we would have pulled every tassel off of every plant, right? So they got smart and they take what it's akin to a giant lawnmower and they lop the top of those 4 female plants in the middle. So again, you drive out west of Lincoln, you can see a detasseling field. You can see
one's up
it.
and the next 4 are not.
Yes. But because of the different growth rates of the plants, they would have to raise it to get all of the tassels, right?
Okay.
So when we get in, they may have gotten 70 to 80+% of it taken off. So we're not pulling every tassel off of every plant, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It does.
But we're doing, each row on average is about a half mile long. So we put people in squads with a squad leader and 4 kids, and we make a giant swath through the fields. So parents kind of
like the forensic files when you see a search, right?
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And we get to the back side of the field and we turn the giant rig around. Then we
That's fascinating. That's fascinating. Well, I think we're going to take a break here. Again, my name is Lincoln Zare. I'm with LIBA, Lincoln Independent Business Association, and you're listening to the LIBA Business Hour. And with me is Don Buell, who founded Nats Detasseling. And we will be back shortly.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today. Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstorats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
At Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical, we're ready, reliable, and recommended. Water heater acting up or your sump pump on the fritz? Call Action. Summer's around the corner. Is your AC working? Are you sure? Call Action. Electrical problems? I'm telling you, call Action. Call Action for a free same-day estimate or a trusted second opinion. You heard that right, a free same-day estimate. 402-423-6960. ActionLincoln.com.
Hey Husker Nation, this is Todd Euler, two-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at windowworldlincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Golfing in 72 degrees and perfect conditions in Nebraska doesn't seem possible in the winter, but it is. Double Eagle Golf is your escape from the bone-chilling cold outside and a reason to keep your clubs out year-round. Book a bay with some friends for a weekend or come by for golf and happy hour on a weekday. Spring leagues begin in February. Get signed up today. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex at West O Street. Online at doubleeagle.golf.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next big opportunity? Constructors is hiring. We're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. We offer competitive wages, great benefits, brand new service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for our shop and multiple field technicians. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at constructorslincoln.com.
Hey, bestie! Whoa, how'd you snag that awesome set of wheels? I'm in the market for a new car, too. My friends at Members Own Credit Union. You're always in the driver's seat when it comes to your finances at Members Own. Always in the driver's seat, huh? Yep. They set you up with a loan that makes sense for your budget with great rates and top-notch customer service to boot. Looks like we're going to need to make a pit stop. Let's go. I'll drive. Hit the road to financial success and explore auto loan options with your best financial friend, Members Own Credit Union. For details, go to membersowncu.org/drive. Federally insured by the NCUA.
Have you heard about Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center? Located at 7555 Pioneers Boulevard, Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center offers compassionate, patient-focused care and provides outpatient surgery services, making it possible to have non-emergency surgery and return home the same day. Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center specializes in cardiology, vascular radiology, orthopedics, pain management, and much, much more. Give them a call today at 402-261-1085 or online at amimaging.com.
At Lincoln Family Chiropractic, they believe everyone deserves to live a pain-free and active life. Whether it's neck pain, shoulder pain, or lower back pain, Lincoln Family Chiropractic specializes in customized care for every patient to promote faster healing, allowing you to get back to an optimal life. Lincoln Family Chiropractic's team specializes in treatments such as dry needling, cupping therapy, and traditional adjustments. Give Lincoln Family Chiropractic a call today, 402-484-5166. Visit them online at lincolnfamilychiro.com or in person, 1 block south of 70th and 8th Street in Lincoln.
Back to the LIBA Business Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This segment sponsored by Integrated Behavioral Health Services.
Good morning. Welcome back to the LIBA Business Hour. I am Lincoln Zare with LIBA and your host for today. With me in studio is Don Buell. Don is the founder of Nats Detasseling. Again, I will remind you a little bit about her business. She started in 2009 and in 2019 was one of the 5 finalists for the Lincoln Women Inspire Awards and won the Better Business Bureau Integrity Award. What year was that, Don?
That was 09.
It was 09. So you didn't start in 09. You started 30 years ago.
I think. Yeah,
you think?
1998, I think, is something like that.
Something like that. Before the year 2000, right? Anyway, we've been having a great conversation about what is detasseling? Why is it necessary? Why is it important? And we ended a little bit on the work ethic and how what Don's company does is contributing to workforce development in Lincoln, Lancaster County, and in Omaha. Because you said you're pulling kids out of Omaha. Now, do you have your own buses?
I lease them.
You lease them for a month.
Yeah, and I help teachers. We train them to get their CDLs. So it's awesome.
So it's a side gig for teachers.
Oh, and they're just so great with the students that we start hiring at age 13. And so
this is the detachlers, not the drivers.
not the drivers. No. So you get these great teachers who are just loving on these kids,
Do they
mentoring
come back?
them. Yes.
That's
oh
awesome.
my yes.
You've almost created a little family out there.
Or a cult, whichever you want to.
I'll stay family.
We call it the Nats family, actually.
Well, and I'm going to come back to that for a minute because I know you've talked about some of these. Well, Luke out here in the mill, who's working behind the counter, worked for you.
He's one of 12 kids, believe it or not.
He has 11 siblings?
Yes.
Well, you have 8 children.
Right. Yeah, I know.
Do they detassel?
They did. Yeah.
Okay, they did.
All of them. Yeah.
You're still homeschooling, right?
The youngest, yeah. So I'm secondary ed by training. The youngest is 13.
Okay.
She'll be 14. So she had her first year out in the field last year.
Very good. So you hire at 13.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk. I want to give a plug a little bit again. Well, before I forget, I want to mention this. If we're at 93.7 The Ticket, if you have questions, there is a text line that if you want to ask Don questions, it's 402-464-5685. You can text in a question and we'll see if we can get to that. I want to give a plug. John Baylor, on to college. John is has been a long LIBA supporter, and my kids did. I call it the John Baylor program. I don't call it the On to College, but they did the John Baylor program. And you said, go back to what you said. You work with John, right?
Yep.
With getting your Nats kids, ready.
So what I'm looking to do with this business, really with these kids, which I feel, Lincoln, that we, detasseling companies, we are the first step in Nebraska's workforce development. And I am so proud of my co-companies that are taking kids out there. We're the first step. And so
and the first step in their career.
In their career.
Education, in their career, and everything. It is just it's hard to overstate the importance of that commitment to doing something hard, and being successful, and the self-esteem that comes from having done something hard and done it well, and
oh my goodness,
it's not just the check.
I would love to camp on that word self-esteem that you just said for a second.
Go for it.
Because what this generation is experiencing with all the social media, when they scroll, okay, their brains hardly have time to register what they've seen, right? And so what it creates is this this reality that their knowledge is very wide but not very deep. And the impact of that is that deep inside, they know that they know a lot, but they know that they haven't been challenged, and it creates anxiety and a loss of self-esteem is what the stats are showing: depression, loss of self-esteem, because they know a lot, but they haven't done a lot. And so when they do something like detasseling, they're walking, the endorphins are going, they're doing something hard, they're getting up early, they're tired at the end of the day. At the end of the season,
have time to scroll when they go home.
Exactly. Yay. At the end of the season, they know that they've done something that they can be proud of, and they have a check to prove it.
Yeah. Doing something that not everybody is either willing to do or can do.
Right.
Is really important.
Yes.
That mile wide and inch deep, raises, in my mind, that speaks to, I won't say the inability of a younger generation, but maybe more the difficulty in problem solving, because they don't have, without, but when something gets hard, you work harder, right? Well, if you haven't done that, it challenges you, because you want to, it's easy to just go, oh, well, I can't figure this out. Somebody else will figure it out.
Well, and the fact that problem solving, when your thoughts are so interrupted and truncated because of the hits coming
The constant stimulus
to you from the internet and social media, it's really hard to think through something carefully. So detasseling is great. You're not bringing your phone in the field. It's going to get wet. We got center pivot irrigation going on, people.
Pivots aren't going during the time.
No, but the corn is tall.
Corn is very
wet. And so we don't allow phones in the field, right?
Well, I don't know how you could detassel and
no, you can't.
You can't detassel and scroll at the same time.
You're not going to be messing with your playlist all the time. So the only thing you can do is have real conversations with people that you're walking with.
Are they in crews? Like they're in with the same group of how many would be in a crew?
Right. So for my buses, I've usually got 40 to 50 teenagers on a bus with 2 supervisors. And so how I do it is we put them in squads. And so our goal is that everybody gets to know everybody on the crew. And yes, it does become
it's the same 40, 50 people.
Yes.
And they might be with a different squad throughout the summer, but they're doing this for a month, right?
Yeah, about 3 to 4 weeks. Yeah.
Okay.
And so with my leadership development program, we're looking for leaders who know how to mentor and coach people. So we're going to have leaders that are 15 years old that are squad leaders mentoring 4 in front of them. Right.
Right.
And so on every bus, I have what's called a top 5 award. We're looking for character. And so the top 5 best kiddos on that bus get the top 5 award. We got a little pin we give them, and they get a big bonus.
That's for the season?
That's for the season. Okay. And what that does, it enables me to write the best references that I can when they earn that award, because they've now risen to the top 10% of a 600-person company. Yeah.
So I want to come back to that, because it ties in. I want to touch on the scholarships for a moment, but 600 people. 2 questions. One, if I remember right, the scenario was, you taught they would, if they didn't miss a day, they might get a bonus or something at the end. Is that?
Yeah. Yeah. So if they don't miss a day in an average season, it really depends on how much they're planning, how the corn grows, all of that. An average season might be anywhere from, I don't know, 15 to 21, 22 days, something like that. So if they don't miss a day, they get $1 across all of their hours for the season.
Okay.
All of their field hours. Yeah.
Speaking of the $1, you mentioned Hope Ventures and your organization doing a charitable contribution. I think you said it was $1 per acre that your kids walk. You contribute that to Hope Ventures.
Non-prop. Well, yeah. So for every acre that our crew covers detasseling, I donate $1 to a nonprofit. So we've donated. So if we cover 5,000 acres, I donate $5,000 to, City Impact or Matt Talbot. And I really like Hope Venture, a local nonprofit here in Lincoln. They do stuff overseas. And so pretty exciting for me. I got to go to Kenya, where we're sponsoring some students. And we did an ag project there for them too, which we were growing food because kids were coming to school with no food, right? Yeah. So we were growing food and providing lunches for students in Kenya. And then also we're able to sell, and by we, I mean Hope Venture.
Yeah, right.
And then last May, I got to go to India, where we've done projects such as there's a rural area of India, obviously lots of rural areas, but the people in this town were walking like 10 kilometers with rice. I didn't know this was a thing, but apparently if you polish rice, it gets more at the market, 30% more. I don't know. Polish rice. They need rice grinders. So we provided 2 rice grinders to a town to enable them to polish their own rice, right? And then they use the rice grinder, the chaff, that's what it's called,
Whatever.
to feed chickens. So they had community. So it was like this win-win for this village.
Byproduct, they get more money,
Exactly.
and there's a byproduct that saves money on chicken.
Right. And then we've also helped destitute women. The Dalit is a class in India that isn't even in the caste system. They're like nothing.
It's so below everything. Yeah.
So we've been able to donate money to help women learn a skill like sewing. And I got to be at a little graduation of some women in India and give the graduation speech last May. It was
did
fun.
Hope Ventures invite you to go?
They invited me to go. I mean, I paid my own way, but I got to go. I got to tag along and see firsthand the difference we've been making over the last.
How long have you done that?
15 years,
15 years?
I think at least. Yeah.
That's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
That's pretty incredible. Let's talk a little bit about scholarships. One of the things that the Lincoln Independent Business Association does, there is a Lincoln Independent Business Association Foundation. There's a golf tournament every year that raises funds for the foundation, and the foundation provides 10 to 12, 13 scholarships to first-year students. And you mentioned on the phone when we talked the other day that a lot of your Nats kids have won scholarships from LIBA.
Yeah.
Do you know have any idea how many?
We try to promote this on our social media, which we're on Insta, guys, and Facebook, and not TikTok.
Give it the numbers.
I feel like it's Not Afraid to Sweat, maybe.
Your daughter was just here that does the social media. We should have asked her.
I think it's Not Afraid to Sweat on Facebook and Insta, but and I think they're due March 31st.
And you know what? I'm gonna see if I can pull that information and we'll present that.
So the Lincoln the LIBA scholarship, guys, it's a great one to go for. And if you work for a LIBA member, which all of these kiddos do, so they're eligible to apply if they live in Lancaster County and they're going to go to a Nebraska type college, whether it's community college or university.
Yes. So that I know where they're presented in May, and so I will see if I can't pull that information, and we will present that on the air here in our closing segment. How big? I mean, not to, small business. We talk about small business.
Yeah.
And sometimes small business isn't so small.
Right.
How much? Whatever you're comfortable sharing,
man.
but how would you?
Yeah.
How would you say? How would you put into context how big your business is?
Detasseling is the puzzle piece that fits into nothing, because I'm like a small business. But a couple years ago, a friend, it slightly terrified me, but said, "Dawn, do you realize you're one of the largest businesses in Lincoln for like a brief window of time?"
Mm-hmm.
But it is such a privilege to be able to pay these kids, to walk alongside them. I mean, our payroll is right around $1 million in one
month.
Yeah. That's crazy?
That's the equivalent of essentially a payroll of $12 million a year.
It's crazy.
Which is larger than I would venture to guess a lot of payrolls in businesses in Lincoln and Lancaster County are.
Can I tell you one funny story on that front? Oh my goodness. So there's so much education, and I want to be, hopefully these future leaders are going to be running their own businesses and or working hard, whatever. We're creating leaders. We're trying to develop leaders. And so there's so much to teach. And one thing we teach is please don't post your checks on Facebook, Instagram, and that literally did happen a few years back. And I kid you not, and they don't know about routing numbers. So now we tell them about routing numbers. Right?
What?
So we had
their account number and routing number was
all there. All there. And like 3 or 4 of them did this one summer. And like,
oh my.
Snap. So we had fraud. We had fraud from Oregon to Massachusetts. I kid you not. And the national bank that I was with at the time wanted to shut my account down. Like, we got to shut this down. Like, and I'm like, no, these kids, they gotta cash their checks. So we said, hey, I said, hey, I'll give you a list of all my employees and blah, blah, blah.
Kind of like the positive pay.
Right.
Right. It would be a version
This
of that.
was before positive pay.
Oh,
So this is back. This is back a minute. So it made me 10 years ago. So then I said, okay, kids, go to this branch at 66 and 0 and cash your checks. And I was told later that the line was down O Street and the bank was about ready to call for backup because they were running out of cash.
Well,
It's
if you
craziest
take
thing.
600 kids out,
Right.
and you pay them on the same day,
I know.
It's like
Yeah. I didn't think that
the
went
soup
through very
line.
well. I didn't think that through.
That's pretty
So,
incredible.
yeah.
Yeah, not maybe the wisest move to do that. What else would you like people to know, Don? I mean, we've talked about a lot of things. I mean,
Yeah.
I think you are obviously a very, very positive influence in these young kids' lives. Well, the fact that they continue to come back, the fact that you walk the streets and you run into your kids probably every day.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think that speaks volumes. And the fact that your kids are getting scholarships. What was the kid we were talking about him? It was the PA that he went on to become a PA.
Nate Olson worked for me for 10 years. Helped him get into PA school with a reference letter, and he was in the running, the last 2 people in job for his dream job, but he had no experience, and his competition did. And so the office manager called me up for a reference, and I said, "Let me tell you why you need to hire Nate," and they did.
That's pretty cool.
So pretty cool.
Well, you obviously take great pride in it. We're going to take a quick break, and we will be back. Please welcome to stay.
Yeah.
We'll wrap up a couple of things with Nate's detasseling, and then we'll talk about a few things that are going on at LIBA, and we'll be back shortly.
Load up on meat and more this winter at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This week's special through February 18th is 15% off chocolates, 15% off wines and spirits, and $10 off filet mignon per pound. Locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
When you need a new water heater, nothing beats the ProLine family of water heaters from A.O. Smith. ProLine models are built using commercial-grade components, meaning they're built to help you tackle your toughest days. No matter if you need a gas or electric model, A.O. Smith has a ProLine unit for you. A.O. Smith, innovation has a name. Call Wellman Plumbing at 402-434-2400 for a great deal on a water heater today. Again, that's 402-434-2400.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and on behalf of the entire Koppel team, we would like to say thank you to all of our loyal customers and employees that have allowed us to become one of the most successful GM dealerships in the country for the past 50 years. So we are celebrating that with some huge discounts. Right now, we have up to $13,500 off MSRP or 0% APR on select new models, and new Blazer EVs are leasing for $279 a month with 0 down. So check us out online at koppelcars.com. All deals with approved credit. See dealer for details.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription, or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Bagels and Joe is the best place to start off your mornings, and you can order your breakfast ahead of time on their app. You can't go wrong with one of their great bagel sandwiches or breakfast burritos. Stop by any of their 4 locations in Lincoln or their location in Seward. Bagels and Joe.
Mulberry Barbecue now has a brand new second location to help all your lunch and dinner cravings. Stop by their newest location at 6125 Apples Way near Lowe's off of Highway 2. They have everything from smoked turkey sandwiches to brisket burritos to burn-in sandwiches and pulled pork. Try a dinner plate option of barbecue nachos, a half-smoked chicken, a full slab of ribs, and so much more. Mulberry Barbecue open Monday to Saturday from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. at 11th and Cornhusker Highway, and now at 6125 Apples Way in South Lincoln.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier dealership, stocking top brands such as Can-Am, Honda, Polaris, Kawasaki, CF Moto, Suzuki, Yamaha, Indian Motorcycles, Sea-Doo, Manitou pontoon boats, and Triton trailers. Come check out Nebraska's newest Indian motorcycle dealership and ring in the new year the right way on an Indian motorcycle. Save big on their massive selection of side-by-sides, all-terrain vehicles, motorcycles, and power watercraft to ring in the new year at their new 27th and I-80 location.
February is American Heart Month, the perfect time to focus on your health. Even a small change can make a big impact on your heart health. Try adding a vegetable to your dinner or a no-salt seasoning. Looking for support in making these small changes? Join a healthy living program to learn about healthy lifestyle changes with a supportive and encouraging group. Search Chronic Disease Nebraska for more information. Paid for by Nebraska DHHS, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Back to the LIBA Business Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This segment sponsored by Ascend Aesthetics.
All right, welcome back to the LIBA Business Hour. I am Lincoln Zier, your host today, and I have Don Buell with me, who is at Nats Detasseling. I would be remiss if I didn't mention some of our other very supportive partners, the Lincoln Airport, Whitehead Oil and U-Stop, and most recently, Warhorse Casino. We greatly appreciate their support and their commitment to growing Lincoln and supporting and growing Lincoln's businesses. A couple of things on the LIBA calendar. Next Tuesday at the Cornhusker Marriott, that's Tuesday the 18th, is the LIBA Luncheon. Our Secretary of State, Mr. Bob Evnen, will be speaking, and Bob is always a good listen. And that will be at noon. It's on the third floor of the plaza side. So it's not on the hotel, it's on the plaza side. And then next, the Friday, the 21st, is a murder mystery out at James Arthur Vineyard. And Jim Ballard writes these things. And this is like remember, people are old enough to remember the Fremont murder mystery train. Well, that was actors. What Jim does is he writes in people who are there. So it's very engaging. It's a very cool experience. There's only about 50 tickets left, but that's the 21st at 6 p.m. You can get tickets at liba.org. And again, before I forget to mention it again, appreciate Don, you're coming in today, snowy day. Nats Detasseling. The website is notafraidtosweat.com. Next week, before I forget, also Robert Pianato, who is the founder and owner of GP Customs, will be with us in the studio. I'm looking forward to that. I want to ask him some questions about my truck. You wanted to talk a little bit about before as a final parting thought about building resumes.
Yeah. When I first got into it, it was, the side hustle, super fun to pay the teenagers, things like that. But having done this now for almost 3 decades, it is amazing the doors that this little crazy summer stint will open. It's crazy. I had a detasseler tell me once that he went into a bank looking for a job, and the bank manager said, "What? You've detasseled 7, 8 years, whatever it was." He said, I don't have an opening, but I'm hiring you anyway.
Wow.
So, and on my website, I've got a Sarah Hofler story about her wrote a letter to get her into law school, and then another letter for a job. And she said when she was interviewed by a room full of attorneys, all they wanted to talk about was why she detasseled for 9 years. And
Some people ask me why I did public accounting for 10 years. It's called brain damage. Now, maybe not so much on detasseling, but
well, if you detassel, and what I've seen is employers will sit up and take notice when you've done it for 3 or more years.
They know you've worked hard.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they know you can get somewhere early in the morning, that you can work in
be on
hard
time,
conditions.
work hard.
And so as an English major, secondary ed, I've really tried to hone the reference writing skill. I've even asked John Baylor to critique my reference letters. He's awesome.
Good choice.
And so my goal is that my reference letter will trump, the McDonald's or Burger King manager, right? It's better, right?
Yeah.
And I have so much fun things to talk about. So many fun things to talk about.
Appreciate, Don. This has been delightful. I really appreciate your time. I appreciate your support of LIBA. I appreciate your being a small business.
Mm-hmm.
If you need to go, if you see Don, ask her to see the book. It's called the next. Thank you for impacting the next generation. It has got some incredible pictures of these kids in the field, and they look like they're sweaty and they're gross and they're hot, but they look like they're having
so much fun.
Awesome. Again, this has been the Lincoln Independent Business Association Business Hour. I'm Lincoln Zier. I will be back on the air next week with Robert Pianato and GP Customs. Thank you, Nats Detasseling, for being in studio today and your support of me.
Thank you.
Perch merch